We're Owen and Missy. We met and married in the UK, moved to Japan for 7 years, and now live in Germany. This is our video blog. We'll tell you about our life, what we like to do, and how we've dealt with health issues for many years, including practical ways to deal with chronic pain. We're also foodies, so we'll share some of our favorite recipes and tell you about the food and culture from the many different places we visit. Thanks for watching, and welcome to our vlog, Anywhere With You. Hey everyone! It's been a little while since our last update, but since that time, Owen and I were in England for about a month, and we just got back a few days ago. And while we were in England, my parents threw a baby shower for us, or for little Rice Ball, which was lovely. And when we were getting ready for it and on the day of, I was reflecting that so many people we love and who have supported us for many, many years weren't able to be there, and I would have loved to have seen them and celebrated with them too. Many of our friends in Japan especially, and so I just thought I would, in this video, include a short testimony that I shared at the baby shower, and I hope this will include more of you who have been prayerfully and lovingly supporting us for a very long time. I don't want you to think that you are forgotten in any way, and I don't want you to doubt for a minute how much we appreciate your love and your friendship. So I'll just read what I wrote, if that's okay. I'm just so glad that we can be together and celebrate an event that a few years ago we doubted would ever happen. I hope you'll enjoy the activities and the food we planned for the baby shower, and definitely be excited about the coming of our Rice Ball, as we've nicknamed the baby. However, before we get too excited, I'd like to take a few minutes to reflect on the time leading up to this point. I wish to share with you how grateful Owen and I are, and how good God has truly been all these 10 years that we've been waiting. As many of you know, I began having health problems the year that Owen and I got married. Even as the pain in my hand spread to my arm, neck, back, and shoulder, I thought maybe I was just imagining everything because doctors couldn't give me a diagnosis. By the time we moved to Okinawa, I was already using a brace on my arm, but after starting to work full-time, the pain quickly deteriorated further. It got to the point where I couldn't use my right hand at all, and after a while, I had no choice but to quit my job. I started doing intensive physical rehabilitation twice a week, which didn't fix the problem, but it was a helpful and necessary process. A good Christian friend of mine decided she would go with me to my appointments once a week to keep me company, fellowship, and drive me in case I was physically exhausted after therapy. We had wonderful friends like this in Okinawa who supported us spiritually in prayer and practically in many ways. For instance, when we packed up to move, my girls' Bible study group came and cleaned our entire apartment since I wasn't able to do anything too physical. In that time, we were blessed with many friendships like that. I also had the opportunity to learn a lot about my body and how to think about it in a more holistic way. I came to understand how my entire lifestyle affects my health and how to know what my body really needs. That's how Owen and I started to become more interested in things like non-toxic, natural body, and food products. Even though it was my body and my pain, Owen and I researched and found solutions together. It's ongoing, actually, and our entire daily routine and our changed priorities have evolved over the years. Both the experiences of moving to a new country and of dealing with these health issues definitely brought Owen and I closer. And for that, I'm truly thankful. Maybe it's weird to say it in this context, but we've had a really wonderful time together. And all in all, being able to be in Okinawa with cheerful people around us, and of course, to have beautiful ocean therapy to de-stress, was an irreplaceable blessing. Having chronic pain did make me wonder if I was also unable to have children, simply because things were going wrong and we'd wanted to have children for a while, but none had come. That's why at the same time as doing treatment for my back, I began doing tests for infertility. I don't even know how to start explaining the difficulty of doing these tests and going through all this in a Japanese system. As well as the discomfort of the tests themselves. You have the language and the culture and so much emotion going on. After most of these appointments, I would feel incredibly depressed because the whole situation was uncomfortable and it felt like there was no progress. At one point, a fellow student wife of mine started to come with me to these appointments, and it felt like she was just there to cheer me up and to drive me in case I had physical discomfort. But it meant so much to me. We continued looking for solutions in Tokyo after we moved, but that presented its own unique challenges. In particular, it was more time-consuming to travel to and from the fertility clinic in Tokyo. We looked into adoption also while we were there, but the doors of both Japanese and American adoption agencies were firmly shut to us. Leaving Okinawa to move to the outskirts of Tokyo was a really difficult transition. The people there were polite, but less exuberantly friendly than the islanders. Life was a faster pace too, and much more intense. And so as a result, my health got worse and worse. And so began what I call the age of sleepless nights. And that lasted almost 3 years. At the time, I became completely reliant on medicine and strong drinks to fall asleep. But sleeping through the whole night became something like a dream in itself. I remember one night clearly in my head. It was about 3 a.m, and I was awake because of the pain in my back. As I wriggled around trying to get comfortable, Owen reached out to hold my hand and started cracking jokes to try and make me laugh. Then we started making up a Creatures of the Night song, which brought us laughter on many sleepless nights to follow. And on that note, if anyone has heard my first album, there's a song that I wrote about this particular experience. It's called Grace in the Waking Hours. Because even on those long, long nights, the Lord gave us precious joy. Eventually, I was diagnosed with having thoracic outlet syndrome, which gave me more direction in my treatment. It was still a case of managing my pain on a daily basis, but at least I could say it wasn't my imagination after all. And by the time we moved to Germany, we had a clear plan of how we would continue my treatment and found there was a special thoracic outlet unit at the University Hospital in Dresden. In the end, however, we never had to use the facility. Instead, we found a treatment to try at home during the first lockdown, which was enough to significantly reduce my pain and improve my daily lifestyle. Many unique opportunities were presented to us after moving to Dresden. Instead of using the TOS facility at the hospital, we discovered there was an IVF clinic there. So even though I'd gone to Germany, kind of kicking and screaming, because I didn't want to learn another language, yet again, the Lord provided for us and proved that His timing is the best. Ecclesiastes 3:11 says, God has made everything beautiful in its time. Over and over again, we wondered why things weren't going according to our plan. Why was it so hard and not at all what we had asked for? However, over and over again, we've seen that God has something better in mind for us. From the little daily joys He's given us to the more clearly relevant answers to years of prayer. Of the joys and blessings, music and creative inspiration has been one of the greatest. I'm even close to finishing my second album now. Well, I hope I'll finish before the baby comes. But it has a theme of waiting, something I feel we've done a lot of over the last 11 years. Taking inspiration from many of the Psalms and other lamentations, I wrote these lyrics. I will wait for the Lord as the desert waits for the rain, and I will open my hands and wait for Him to fill them up. I will wait for the Lord as the stormy clouds come rolling in, and I will lift my eyes to see the goodness of His hand. So with all of my heart and with all of my voice, I'm crying out to you, my Lord, my God. For my lips can say no name besides the name above all names. You raise me up, and I sing to you. Thank you so much for celebrating with us. Thank you for praying for us all these years. We're especially thankful to our friends in Okinawa and Japan who couldn't be with us. They shared so much of our sorrows with us, but we want to share our joy with them too. And we are especially glad to be able to celebrate with our parents who have faithfully supported us and loved us over the years. Thank you for not pressuring us to have children. Instead, you reminded us over and over again that you love us whether or not we have children. You also planned many fun-filled trips and experiences for us to enjoy, and we felt loved and spoiled. People often comment on how much Owen and I have suffered, but honestly, we've never thought of it that way. For Owen and I, these years have not been a waste. God never left us. He has always been faithful to us, and we give all of our thanks to Him. So I'll just finish with a verse from Psalm 52, verse 8-9. I am like an olive tree, flourishing in the house of God. I trust in God's unfailing love forever and ever. For what God has done, I will always praise Him in the presence of your faithful people. And I will hope in His name, for His name is good. Thanks for listening to my testimony.